Yes, good morning, everybody. So happy to see all of you. Good morning, and very sorry for the 5 minutes delay. There was some technical issue. How are you all? How is everybody? Yes, a very, very good morning to everybody here. Great. Good morning, Roshni. Good morning, Suresh. Good morning, Soumya. Good morning, Ashish. And good morning, all of you. Right. So before I start with this webinar, I want to know like how many of you all had attended the previous session, and like how many of you all are new here, completely new. Okay, a lot of you all have attended the previous session. Okay, great, great. Oh, okay. A lot of you all are new also attended. Okay, it's a mixture of both. Okay, so what we'll do is first we'll do a quick recap of what we did last time, and then we start with today's session, right? Okay. Okay, are you all able to see my screen? Are you all able to see what I'm presenting? Yes? Okay, fine. So let me start. We are already a little late, so let me start immediately then. Yes? But because a lot of y'all are new, I'll just tell you all briefly about myself, right? Very, very short. Okay. So I am CA Supriya Samant, and I cleared my CA in 2011. I was working in the consulting sector with 5+ experience in PwC in the field of taxation. Then we co-founded Antarlaksha. And why was it formed? Because I strongly feel that CA students, you all have all the subject matter available, but you really need someone to guide you, to mentor you, and to help you be in a great state of mind. Because two very, very important things here. One is strategy. Second, that you are in a great state of mind to manage all the complexities of these exams, right? And that's how this program was started, and it is completely one-to-one, because I truly believe each one is unique, and so are your strengths and weaknesses. And everybody needs to be paid individual attention, right? I'm also an ICF certified coach, and I have impacted thousands of students through my one-to-one mentoring. And my program, I run the highest rated one-to-one mentorship programs on various portals. And just a glimpse of the reviews that I have received, just for your reference, right? Okay. And now that we have spoken, you all know a little about me, let's begin with today's session. Okay, before I start with the session, those who have attended, can you all just tell me whatever you remember about last week's session? Anything you all remember about last week's session? What are the 4 pillars to ensure that you are putting in your 100% effectiveness of preparation? Yes? Yes? Can you all start giving your answers, please? Whatever you remember. Whatever you remember from last time. Yes, I'm getting a lot of answers here. Alpha technique. Ujjwal says alpha technique. Yes, absolutely. Okay. Then I'm getting answers like consistency. Great, great. Okay. So a lot of you remember a lot of things. Great, great. So now let's do a very, very quick recap of last time, and then we start with today's session, right? So the quick recap about the 4 pillars of effective exam preparation. First one I told you all was consistency, right? It is very, very important that you are consistent. Every single day matters, right? And we spoke about 4 things which will help you be very, very consistent. First is you having set that if you're somebody who's doing your articleship, right, or your college, it's very important that you set a target for the week, and you also set a target below which you cannot go, the worst case scenario and the best case scenario. So any time in the week you cannot go below the minimum expected duration that you have set for yourself, and you try to achieve the maximum set duration, right? And if someday like it's too hectic at work, then what you do is you try to compensate in the next few days. But no day you don't study at all, because it is very, very important that you have studied every single day. Because if you don't do that, if you miss that, then you will be again taking a lot of time to get into this rhythm of studies. Second, ensuring that whatever pattern you have set, the study pattern, morning so and so, evening so and so time, or if you're somebody who's studying the whole day, then deciding how many hours I am studying, that you've already decided, ensuring that you do that for the next 4 weeks. Because once a habit is set for 1 week, or like you do it continuously for the next 4 weeks, that is 1 month, it becomes a habit, and then you will automatically start doing it. Third, start tracking your time. Have a track sheet to see what is the time that I actually have on hand and how am I using my time. What was fourth? Having an accountability partner, right? In the first month, at least in the first month, it is extremely crucial that you have somebody to whom you are accountable. Very, very important, right? Okay, fine. So that was point one. Point two, what is point two? Quality of input, right? Quality of input. Now, how we spoke about two things. First, only when your mind is in a state wherein it can absorb all the information, that is the time you should first ensure that your mind is absolutely calm and composed, and then get back to studies. That is the time you start studying. You start first, what do? You do the alpha technique, you do the back counting, you do the affirmations, and then you start studying. We also spoke about various techniques which can help you retain better, right? Those of you who have missed last session, what you can do is it's there uploaded on CAtestseries. So you have to just go, on YouTube, I mean. So you will get a chance to see the entire thing. This is just a quick recap so that whatever we are doing this series, this is connected. Third is effectiveness of output. Whatever you're studying, ensuring that you are testing your knowledge. You're solving MCQ type questions. You are solving after every chapter. You are solving the test series, mock tests for chapter wise, or you can solve a question back, but ensuring that whatever you're studying, you are able to apply your knowledge. Just studying is not going to help you. Very important to check whatever you studied. Actually, how much have I understood? And fourth is efficient planning. So in efficient planning, if you all remember, we spoke about four things, right? First, that you are finishing your conceptual understanding. Second, you are checking what you have studied, as in whether the knowledge has been assimilated. Usually what we do is, my portion is done, but that is not enough. You need to ensure that whatever you've studied, you have understood and you're able to apply your knowledge. And a very quick technique, easy technique to do that is the teach technique, wherein you imagine that there are people in front of you and you have a whiteboard and you're teaching. That is the time you understand where is it that I have understanding gap, and you can try to get that understanding better, make that concept very, very clear, right? And then we spoke about mock test and revisions and regular writing practice every day, dedicating time, especially in your revision phase, to doing dedicated writing practice. So whoever has missed all this, please see the YouTube video. You will get a detailed understanding of all of this, right? So great. A lot of you all remember a lot of things. I'm getting answers from Tejas like immediate revision, daily revision, and weekly. Yes, Tejas, absolutely right. Good, great. Soumya, you're asking about how to retain better. We have covered it in the last session in brief. We are going to have another session for you all to how to study better, how to retain better, and how to have all those various techniques to be able to study in a much better way. Right? Now, we shall start with today's main topics, that is exam pattern and second, presentation. Right? I'm sure all of you all are already aware about the exam pattern, but still, let me just tell you all in brief, right? Now, CA final papers 1 to 5 are going to be 30% MCQ based, right? It is mostly case scenario based. There'll be no negative marking, and it is compulsory, right? Descriptive 70%. Question number 1 will mostly be compulsory, and you have to choose 4 out of 5. Now the clarity about all this has to come, like how many marks, whether it's going to be a 14 marks thing or how is it going to be, that once we have the mocks uploaded by ICI, we'll get further clarity on this, right? CA final paper 6, open book case study based, wherein MCQ is 40%, descriptive is 60%. And each question will be a 25 marks question, and we have to choose 4 out of 5, right? CA inter again 30% MCQ, 70% descriptive. So one major changes for inter and final, all subjects we have MCQs, right? And obviously CA final paper 6, it's going to be 4 hours with 40% MCQ and descriptive 60%. Foundation paper 1, paper 2 is going to be 100 marks subjective, right, which will be a 3 hours paper. Paper 3, paper 4 MCQ based and 2 hours, right? Now see, we will get more and more clarity on these issues as the mock papers are uploaded, exactly what is the weightage and all. We will get a lot of clarity as time goes by, right? But this is what we've understood. MCQs have a lot of weightage, right? And today, I'm sure you all must be wondering that why is presentation taken at this point of time where we are 95 days away from our exam, right? So why we are doing presentation now is because if you start doing it well from now on, as you finish a chapter, as you start writing chapter wise test series, or you're doing your regular practice, if you start incorporating it now itself, it will help you. By the time you write your exam, you will be so used to it that you will automatically write well and you present it properly and without putting in much efforts. Now let me explain why presentation is so important. I'll explain this to you with the help of a very, very simple example. Acha. Let's a little off the topic. Okay, all of y'all, do you know about Adi Purush, a very, very big budget movie that was made? Yes, have you all heard about the movie Adi Purush, right? And now a new movie was made, Hanuman, right? Now both these movies are about characters which are very, very close to our heart, right? Adi Purush is a movie which everybody knows about Ramayana. Now this movie was made on a budget of 700 crores, and the box office was only 135 crores. Whereas is a very small budget movie. It's only 50 crores and it's still running in the theaters, and it's already done 209 crores. Now, what is the main difference between these two, right? Both, it's all about the various characters are really close to our heart, right? So and Ramayan, Adi Purush is about Ramayan, which everybody knows. The story is known by everybody. So can you all tell me what must have gone wrong? Anybody, any idea? Why do you think it did fail? Right? Because one, the story it was told in such a way that it did not appeal to the people, right? The presentation was not good enough, right? So what I'm trying to tell you is, even if the story was something which everybody knew, the way it was presented, it was not appealing to the audience. The way they didn't think about what the audience actually wants, right? They made a huge blunder there. Whereas Hanuman, a very, very short budget movie, but the way it was presented, it really appealed to the audience, right? Their storytelling was that way. So what I am trying to convey to you all is, when you write an exam, yes, Ashish is saying dialogues. Basically, Ujjwal Yadav is saying presentation of characters, content presentation. Absolutely, right? Even if they had the best graphics, the best visuals, the way they presented it, their dialogues, the way it didn't appeal to the audience, right? So that is how important our presentation is, right? We don't give it so much thought, but if you go to think about it, if you are somebody who's aiming for a rank, your presentation is something which will make that difference. Or for someone who is, maybe your paper was very difficult and you are just attempting, you're just hoping that you'll clear. At that point of time, your presentation will make a lot of difference. Imagine it was a 14 marks question, out of which 8 marks you knew it very well, balance you didn't know. But if those 8 marks are presented properly, as against those it's all those 14 marks are in a very, very cramped way, right? Which it is not appealing to the examiner. You will not get any marks out of it, right? So at least you will get marks for the steps and the way you are presented, and that can make a huge difference whether you are going to be on this side or the other, right? So presentation plays a very, very important role. That is what I'm trying to convey to you all. So today we are going to talk about various things, various points. You can write it down also, which are very, very important to ensure that you're presenting properly. Right now, I'm also going to give you show some illustrations to help you understand them better. See, it must be at times that you feel, oh, I know this, but when it actually comes to exams, these small things are missed, and then that is the time you tend to make a lot of mistakes. So let's begin, right? Okay. So first we will talk about how to approach MCQ based questions, because now it is for theory, practical, it is 30% for inter and foundation, and for inter and final, and foundation you already have two papers which are dedicated to MCQs. So how to approach MCQs, right? First and foremost, you scan the questions and opt for easiest MCQs first. So first you scan through all your questions. You can attempt MCQs as the first question, right? First and foremost, you scan all the questions, and first you always choose the ones which you are very, very confident about. It will help you increase your confidence level, right? Read each question twice and the options twice before selecting. Please don't be in a hurry. Just don't quickly read and go through the options. No, read each question twice and the options twice before you select a particular answer, right? Check your answers after 10 to 15 questions and then mark in OMR, right? Because if you keep it for the last minute, there'll be too many things. You will have almost 30 questions to recheck. So aim to finish 15, then move on to the next 15, right? Okay, I'm getting a lot of questions in between. Don't worry. In the end, we have a Q&A. So wherein I am going to talk about all the questions that I will have asked me. Okay, fine. Next is, don't wait to solve all the 30 questions to recheck, right? And attempt the ones you do not know, because there is no negative marking. So first and foremost, you finish things which you know very well, and then you do the ones which you do not know, because there's no negative marking for inter and final, right? So attempt MCQs before subjective questions and aim to complete the MCQs under 45 minutes. You have to do the rough work at the end of the answer sheet. One thing that is usually done is, in the MCQ options, for the wrong answers, they give you the reasons, right? So we tend to get confused. The reason is given, but that is just a trick played by ICI to confuse you. Don't fall on that, right? Whatever you have done, you have faith that that is only right, only because they have given you a reason for one of the options. That does not mean it is the right option, right? Now, I think Ayani is asking, so first thing, how do I practice MCQs? As I had already told you all, one, you already have it on ICI portal. You have MCQs chapter wise. So please make it a point that every day you dedicate certain time to that. CA test series app, if it is being uploaded, they are in the process, and you can just directly connect with them. They will tell you, but I can tell you they are going to have MCQs for all subjects and all topics. So be rest assured, Ayani. So one, you solve ICI MCQs. Second, you solve CA test series MCQs for more practice, right? Okay. Now we go to practical subjects, right? Tips to score good in practical subjects. So as I told you all, whenever you are writing a paper, please think of what the examiner is thinking. I will always, if I'm an examiner, I will always prefer if the student has presented in such a way that I can easily understand, and I know what is happening, and it is and I feel that yes, the student is very, very confident, right? Your presentation also shows how confident you are about the subject, right? And the first job of the examiner is always to see whether it's right or wrong. So they are focusing more on how things, what are the wrong things and how I can cut marks, right? So you have to present in such a way that you ensure that it is appealing to their eyes and they understand what is it that you're doing, right? First and foremost, so all these things which I'm telling you all, I'm telling you the tips now. I will actually show you all few presentations so that you get a clear picture, right? So first and foremost, give short headings to your calculation. So from part 1, if you're moving to part 2, please make it a point to give a short heading, right? They should know what you're doing. You cannot just simply skip to the second part. When you choose an option, properly mention the option and reason when an option is chosen, right? Decision making is very important, right? So when you are choosing an option, right, that so and so option is chosen, and the reason after you're working, when you show the option, like you have to conclude that this was the option and a short reason for that, right? When there are like 6 options you have to choose in a particular question, highlight headings for different options. Do not directly start solving. Next, write question numbers very, very clearly. What happens is, if you go to see, if I don't write the question number well, what will, if there's a overwriting, the examiner does not have the time, right? You might end up losing your entire marks if you are not writing clearly. This is very, very important. Avoid overwriting. Where it becomes inevitable, you can just strike off and write, right? I know a little, it might look a little untidy, but overwriting is a complete no-no, right? For numeric figures, mention the format, whether it is in lakhs, thousands, crores, or units. This is a very, very important thing, because when you are in a hurry, you tend to miss this entire thing, and then what happens, your entire answer goes wrong, right? So be very, very sure that what, and you need to really clearly mention whether the calculation is in lakhs, crores, or in units, right? Also use the principle of rounding off correctly for decimals. Next, so when you have very, very short solutions, you can directly write the answer, the formula for that answer in the main answer. You need not write it. You do not need not maintain a working note for it. So what will happen is, it will save your time and it will also help you score good marks. Very important, account headings to accounts or statements is must. Also mention company name. So usually what students do is, when their balance sheet for the year ended so and so, but they are not mentioning for whom, right? Company name is very, very important. These are small, small things, but if missed, they can result in not presenting your answers properly. They can also result in deduction of marks, right? Proper format of statements is a must, right? In balance sheet, proper category or subcategory of items. Also, when you're maintaining journal entries, please ensure that you are mentioning in the books of whom you are, right? Journal entry in the books of so and so. Plus, very important, do write the narrations. Very important, be very, very honest. If your balance sheet doesn't tally, mention the correct total. It's okay. If it is not telling, you try your best. If it is not happening, please mention the correct total. Don't just write, you try to match it, right? Because once, if the examiner feels, because he's seeing the totals of all the figures, he's able to see all the figures, he'll understand that you have been dishonest. And if that impression is made by him that this person is not honest, he is going to feel the same way for all your answers, because your first impression is very, very important. If you're doing it wrong, okay, can people hear me? Because Suresh is saying that my voice is breaking. Can you all please raise your hands? Okay, you can hear me. Fine. Okay. Okay, thank you. So what I was telling you all is, if the examiner gets that impression that you are not honest, right, then even if you've done the right things later on, that impression will be carried on, because remember, they are human beings, right? So once an impression is created, they don't know you personally. For them, They are just checking. They have a time limit. They have to check. So you start thinking from their point of view. So very important that if it does not tally, be very, very honest, right? Okay. Just one question Tanmay is asking. MCQs are going to be in the OMR sheet, and there is no need to write the reason. You just have to select the MCQ. MCQ reasons are not required. Yeah, because this is related to what we are doing. I just answered this. And yes, I'm going to answer all your questions in the end. Kriti is asking whether questions would be answered. Don't worry. We have a separate Q&A for that. Yeah. Okay. Okay. State necessary assumptions and notes wherever possible. Working notes are very important, and wherever you're making certain assumptions, please write it clearly, right? Don't assume that it's a very small assumption. There's no need to mention. Always mention your assumptions. Presentations is very important, and it gives the examiner confidence, right? Your first impression is how it is presented. Imagine it is something which is very cramped, and it feels, the examiner feels that person has just dumped information. Automatically the way he will perceive it and the way he will read it will be different than a very, very well presented answer, right? So now I will just show you all first certain illustrations to help you understand this point in a much, much better way, right? Now, if you see in example 1, right? This person from part 1, when that person has gone to part 2, wherein there are 6 options given, he has not even given a proper heading. Now, how will the examiner know? Just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just a short heading is required, right? I'm not saying that very big headings, but at least a very short one, right? How will the examiner know that what is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? It will take him so much time to actually figure out what it is. To make the examiner's life easy, he will make your life easy, right? So first is that. Second, you see how this part, how cramped it is done, right? Please ensure that your presentation, it's presented very, very well, very clearly, something which the examiner can also see well, right? Third, when in the end, if for example, I have chosen option 5, just don't write the answer is option 5. You just write one line saying that this option is chosen and the reason why it has been chosen, right? Because if you don't conclude it in that way, you will end up losing 1 to 1.5 marks. So these are the 3 things I would like to point out in this particular evaluation. Now, solution 2, right? Again, the person, he has directly come to the calculation. Again, you need to mention. So for this, it was, for 9 lakh units, they had to calculate. So that person could have just written in short that what is it for, right? Proposed production for the next year. Very, very important that you mention what is the heading in this part, right? We are present and proposed. No, write it in the options. Okay. Next, sorry. Here, if you see, this person answered to question 6, but the way he has written is question 5 or 6 is not clear. That examiner might not even give you marks for this, right? It all depends for the examiner. It depends on what is his state of mind. If he sees that someone is not even writing it clearly, if he assumes it is question 5 and he does not bother to see what it is, you will end up getting a 0. So please write your question number very, very clearly. Answer to question number so and so. Very important. It's a small thing, but it can end up you losing your entire marks for a particular question, right? Now, in this, always mention the, whether you're doing it for units, crores, lakhs, what is it? How will the examiner know, right? Describe the format of these figures, right? Or so make it very, very clear, because people tend to lose out marks because of this. Because if I'm not mentioning this, it will be a huge error. My entire answer changes if I do not mention the format of the figures, right? Here, as I told you, if the solution is really, really short, what you can do is you can write the formula here, and then you need not make a working note. If it's a short solution, One, it will save your time. Second, it will be more presentable and it will fetch you good marks, right? Now in this, the person has mentioned consolidated balance sheet as on so and so. So as I told you, very, very important, please mention the name of the company. See, finally, what the examiner is checking at a later point of time is, once you are a CA, how will you do this in the practical world? How good is your knowledge? Will you be able to face the practical challenges, right? So how will you be as an employee or as a CA, right? So very important, these small things are very crucial that you need to keep in mind. So always mention the name of the company also. Second, always write the headings and subheadings. You know the format, you have to present it in that way. Again, as I told you, journal entries, mention in the books of whom that you're maintaining the journal entries, right? Also, you need to give narration to those entries. These are very, very important things. They may look small, but very, very important to help you get good marks and help you go from this side of the line to the other, right? Okay. Now, when we go to theory questions, very, very important things. Whenever you can write section numbers, please do write, right? One quick tip I can give you all is, for question numbers, what you could do is, for section numbers or everything that you have to remember, what you can do is you can simply make a list of it. Whatever things that you know that I have to write it, I need to remember it. And what you can do is that every day, maybe 10 minutes, then 10 minutes, but you're going through it every single day. So for example, before sleeping, I decide I will go through my list, right, of my section numbers or whatever the case laws which I really need to quote and remember, all the things which have to be quoted and remembered, I make a list of it, right? And every day I go through the list. By the time my exam has come, I have 95 days, I would have gone through it 95 times, right? So I'm not putting in specifically so much time to just memorize things, but because I'm going through it every day, you can even try to read out loudly. Like, you remember last time we spoke about retention. What you can do is you can read out loudly, and so that you're listening to it and you're looking at it also, it will help you remember better. So by the time your exams would have approached, you would have done it umpteen number of times, right? So try this out. This is a very small thing, but a very, very effective thing. Make a list. As you go on with the chapter, start making the list, or a lot of lists are already available now. You have everything handy. You can just download it, but go through it every single day, right? Yes. So if you don't remember any section number, you may write as per provisions of the Act. Always writing section numbers is very good, but if you don't remember, don't write the wrong section number, right? But remembering the title of the act and the year is important. That is something you cannot miss. Another important thing is, the more technical words you use, the better, especially in law and audit. Wherever possible, use technical words. Next, keep it to the point and brief. A lot of us feel that if I write lengthy answers, it's going to fetch me more marks. No, the more to the point, the more crisp it is, the better, right? And you should write it in the point form, right? Wherever possible. Wherever possible, present examples and illustrations frequently so that the examiner knows, yes, that you have understood and you're applying your knowledge also. Underlining keywords in your answers is very important. This because the examiner does not have the time to go through each and every point. When he sees that the main points are at least there, he's satisfied that yes, you know all of it, right? So in case he doesn't get into the detail, at least he knows that you have covered important things. Conclude the answer by giving crux of the details provided, or taking up one side of the coin, yes or no, if opinion asked in question, right? After, in the end, always conclude. If you have been asked to give an opinion, so do give your opinion, right? If there's no opinion needed, you can just conclude. You can just give the crux of whatever you have mentioned, right? Do not use short forms. No short forms like AGM, no short forms at all. Very important, please write full forms. In audit, 2 to 3 short paras for 4 to 5 lines each is much better than writing a full page answer, especially when the questions are descriptive, like describe and discuss. Whenever it is given, please write in short 4 to 5 lines, one para 4 to 5 lines, and it could be a 2 to 3 paras answer. Wherever they're asking you for comparisons or of alternatives, techniques, opinions, you can write it in the tabulated form. It will make it more presentable and easy to understand. Final students are expected to give practical examples, application areas, wherever. So the more examples you give in direct, like descriptive questions, it will give a good impression to the examiner that you've understood the concept and you are able to even think of how it can be applied, right? So when you forget some points, for example, you've forgotten some point, you feel I can write more, you can do one thing is you can leave some space and you start your new answer, right? So that later on, if you can come to it and think of it, you can always add. Now, let me give you how do I present theory questions in exams. So usually there are certain things that you need to do, especially which are direct questions, right? Now, in the step one, in the first para, you always write the provision of the act and the section number of the reference of the act, right? Then you explain the provision written in the first para. Then how your answer is connected to the question given, right? And last, always give a conclusion. So as I told you all, if you have a particular thing that you have to write yes or no, or you have to come to a particular thing, pick a side, always give that. And if there's no need for it, at least write the crux, at least write a conclusion. Very important that you always conclude your answer. Next is how to present case study based questions. So usually what students do is you just write that the case law, and you just directly mention what is the conclusion. No. What you do is when you're presenting a case study question, the case law also has to be explained, right? So define the case, facts of the case, situation and problem in the case, then the solution and conclusion of the case with short reason, right? So what I'm trying to tell you all is, even when you are having a case law, right, don't just directly write the case law and what is the inference. You need to write facts and the solution of the case, what has happened in the case and the solution and how it is connected to what has been asked. It is very, very important that you take care of this, right? This is something which is ignored by a lot of students. Okay. Now, let me give you some illustrative examples for this also. Just one second. Okay. Okay. Now, in this there has been, it's a comparative thing, but you see that it is shown in a very cramped way. I don't even know which is the first part, which is the second. So one thing, you should leave appropriate space when you are comparing two things, when there are two paras. Second, this could have also been done in a table format. When I'm comparing, it is very good if you can write in a table format, if it is tabulated, right? Second, where it's important that you keep your answers to the point and you keep them crisp, right? You are also highlighting the important things. You're making a note of the keywords and you're highlighting the keywords, easy for the examiner to understand. For SM and subjects like that, you can directly write it in the numerical, listed down. And preferably when you are doing it, you don't write it alphabetically. Points should never be A, B, C, D, E, F. They should always be 1, 2, 3, 4, always in numerics, right? And you underline the keywords. So basically what I'm trying to tell all of you all is, very important, you start, see, from now, if you start doing these small things, by the time your exam actually you give your paper, it is ingrained in your system and you're not taking specific efforts for that. Second, it will happen naturally and you will not miss. So when you are after a chapter, if you've joined the test series and you are writing tests, from now you make a point to do all these things. Obviously, when you're doing it from test series, they will point out all of this. But if you have not joined anything and you are just doing practice, right? You have picked random questions, you're trying to solve please, at least, when you're doing writing practice, ensure that you're presenting it well, so that when you actually go to exam, it is already there, you know what is to be done, right? And always think that the examiner is a person, and I have to ensure that he understands what I'm saying. Like in that Adi Purush and Hanuman example, it is presented in such a way that the examiner is actually understanding, it is presented well, and it is very, very easy for him to check. I have made that examiner's life very easy, and I can actually help him understand what I have written, right? Okay, now I have too many questions that I have to answer. Okay, now let's start with the questions. Okay, so we'll start with the questions now. Okay, I'll just stop sharing and answer all the questions. Yes. So Vishnu is asking, can you please provide the slide for later review? See, all these are going to be uploaded on your CA test series channel, YouTube channel. So you can ensure that uh, you you can have a look at it later also. Rishabh is also asking whether I can start from the beginning. No, I will not be able to start from the beginning, but I think by today or tomorrow this will be uploaded, right? As I told you, my first video is also uploaded, what we discussed last week. This will also be uploaded, so don't worry. Next is, does the length of the answer matter? Like if we keep our answer brief, it is short in length. See, what you have to do, Rohit, you have to see the weightage, right? You, very important, weightage is something, and according to the weightage the answer will be presented, right? And very important thing is, all the points are covered, so it is not a big answer or a short answer. Depending on the marks, your length depends, right? Ujjwal, how to retain case laws in DT? So Paras, you're asking me how to retain case laws in DT. So as I told you, see, last week we spoke about how you retain better. The more you read, the more you write, the more you try to read out loudly, you tend to remember better. But at this stage, what I can tell you is, case laws, as I told you, just make a list of all those which you have to remember, and maybe just write the crux of this. So things which I know I have to quote, right? Make a list of it and go through that list every single day. 15 minutes or half an hour, right? If I do that, it is not something which is I'm going out of the schedule, but I'm doing this every day. By the time my exam has come, I would have done it umpteen number of times, and it is automatically retained, right? uh, I didn't understand. Can the PDF slides be uploaded for our review? So as I told you, all these slides, so it's going to be on YouTube, so you can have a look at it. So basically, see, when you're getting your, once you write the CA test series, you write a particular test. These are the generic things that I told you all. Specific things, they will also tell you very, very specific things, what mistakes you are making in general, right? And this is there on YouTube. Ma'am, how to score exemptions? So, Ujjwal, I don't know if you attended the previous session, but if to score exemption, there's a process that you have to go through. You have to do conceptual understanding, revisions, writing practice, right? Timed writing practice, very important. Going through RTPs, MTPs, past papers, and regular MCQ practice every day, half an hour every single day. And the more number of mocks you solve, the higher is your chance of scoring an exemption. So please ensure that, please keep testing the applicability of your knowledge. Ravi is asking whether it will be theoretical or practical MCQ. See, they are saying that a lot will be case study based, but in the ICI portal, the MCQs which have been uploaded, they are a mix. So they have asked directly theory based questions also. So till the time we get mock test papers from the institute, there is still ambiguity. We don't know what exactly will happen. But what you can do is, for now, you keep solving them. We will surely get a clear picture in some time, right? Because in ICAI, they have a mix of those. They have mostly case study based, but they have direct questions also. Shubham is asking when to give chapter-wise test while preparing or revision. See, you can. It would be good if you can do the chapter-wise test now only, right? When you, as you're doing conceptual understanding, maybe once you finish one or two chapter concepts, like one or two chapters, you give a test. So what happens is when you are then once you're doing your subject-wise revision, after you're done with your entire revision, you can directly write 100 marks, and you try focusing on writing more and more 100 marks papers. But if you are at a stage where I've already finished 60% of the portion and I've not written any chapter wise test now, you can directly start from your revision phase, right? So it depends on where you are and how much portion you have completed. Okay. Payal is asking, ma'am, how can I study constantly? Like I'm studying for one day with effective, but next day is total misuse by me. So Payal, in the previous session, which is uploaded on CAtestseries, I have given you tips to help you be how you can be consistent. In the beginning of this session also, there are four things that you have to follow, 4 steps. So please see my last week's video, which is on CAtestseries. You will get a clear understanding of how you have to do it. Right? Okay. So next question is how Nancy is asking how to practice RTP, MTP of previous years, as only 3 months are left in which one full revision of study material is even pending. See, honestly, now once you finish the conceptual understanding phase, in the revision phase, very, very important that you do go through your RTPs, MTPs and passed at least 3 to 4 year papers. Now, see, first time when you're doing the revision, it will take a lot of time for you to go through because it might be new. But once you do it in the revision phase, please have your markings, right? So please highlight the things. You cannot do everything as the number of revisions go by. First revision, you should have a marking in place that this is something which I know very well, and this is something which I can skip next time, right? So highlight the things which are very, very important, mark it, or you can make your notes. And you don't, so in revision 2, I don't see each and every question. I see one question of each type, and I only see the important things or the adjustments in the rest of the questions. So that time you have to be very smart of in a smart way you need to study. You can't do everything in detail, right? Second, you also have to trust yourself as your number of revisions go by, that whatever I have not marked, right, I will be able to remember. Right. Next. Ma'am, my classes will be completed on 15th March. You're giving group 1. Is 45 days enough for revision and test for group 1? See, honestly, Sanchit, if you can, yeah, if you're finishing your classes by 15th March, one thing, if you ensure that by 15th March, whatever is done in class, you are at par, right? Whatever is done in class, you have done your self-study and the conceptual understanding, and your concepts are really strong, then you can revise in the next 45 days. But now at this stage, till 15th March, one thing you have to ensure, whatever I am doing in my class, simultaneously I'm studying that at home, right? So I'm completely at par with my syllabus. Next, Roshni is asking, is last minute preparation works? See, last minute preparation, I am not understanding. Like last minute, like how like are you saying at this stage if I start, can I finish? So it depends. If you're giving one group and you're putting in maximum effort every single day, right, yes, it will happen. But at this stage, giving 2 groups, if you have not touched your portion or if you have not touched your subjects, is really difficult. So if you are someone who has giving one group, if you are very, very consistent with your efforts, yes, you will be able to manage. Priti is asking that is it important to write book language and audit? See, it is always preferable if you can write book language. The more number of times you go through, you will be able to automatically write. See, it's always preferred, but if you are not able to, it's okay. But the preference will always be the more book language you use, the better it is, right? Okay. How many chapters should be ideally done total in a day for CA inter both groups? See, Sejal is asking me this question. This is a very, very subjective question. So I'll tell you why. Because every subject is different, every chapter is different. Some subjects will be your strength, some will be your weakness. So it depends. You have to have your personalized strategy that like when I'm doing my this chapter, if it is a difficult chapter, it might take a whole day. But if it's an easy chapter, it might be done in half a day. So this is something which is completely on you, and you have to accordingly make your weekly timetable, keeping these aspects in mind. So it is very important that you're practical also when you're doing this, and you know that this is what I have to cover and how I have to cover it, right? So you cannot directly say that every subject I have to finish 4 chapters in a day. That's not possible. It is completely on you and how much you take time to understand the thing, and whether it's an easy subject, your strength, or it's your weakness, right? Okay. See, who's asking me this? Sivagami is asking, in ICI Institute website, please let us know where they have uploaded for all 6 papers of the new syllabus MCQ booklet. So you can go to the Board of Studies. There you will have MCQ as a separate option, wherein once you log in with your student details, right, registration details, you will be able to do that. Also, you have the app wherein there also you can do it. So ICI, you can directly do it through the website. App is also there that will make things easier for you, right? But chapter wise and subject wise booklets have been uploaded for MCQs. Okay. Snehal is asking, what is more effective, online or offline coaching? See, it completely depends on you and on the time availability, right? And the classes which are close to you. There are too many factors in place when you have to decide that. If you are somebody who is doing your articleship and you have time constraints, then obviously online will be better because it is as per your convenience. And second thing, whether you have any coaching classes close to you, or because online there are so many options. Offline you have to even check which is closer, which is viable as per time, and whether you have other commitments like college, articleship. Accordingly, all these factors in place, you decide what is better. Then after that is next question. How many revisions do we do before exam for a full course test series for CA final? See, ideally, I have recommended minimum 2, right? Minimum 2 set of revisions. After one set of revision, you write one mock test paper of 100 marks, and at least one last set of revision exactly in the exam style. Sorry. Exactly in the exam style, because I need to know very, very well how I'm going to use my exam days, because finally how I use my exam days will determine a lot, right? So one mock exactly in the exam style. Every alternate day you write a paper, so that you know these are the things that I have to mark and I have to cover, and you exactly know this is what I'm going to do my exam evening, the next whole day, and the morning. So this is something which is very, very important, that you have to do minimum 2 mocks. The more number of mocks you do, if you can do 3, that is great, but minimum 2 mocks is something you have to do. Dipti is asking, ma'am, how to manage CA final group 1 with job, missed aggregate in the last attempt, effective study hours per day, how many should you put in? See, when you have one group and you have to manage your job also, at least 4 to 5 hours every single day, and weekends you really compensate for it, right? Weekends you go 10 to 12 hours, weekdays you go 4 to 5 hours. The key here is consistency, being very, very consistent, that even one day you're not missing. And if there is such a situation that it is peak time and you cannot just manage studying, try to compensate the other days, right? But that day at least study maybe 1 hour, but don't break that routine, because again coming back to routine will take you a lot of time. Okay, next question. How to control tension in exam hall if question is tough or takes time to solve? See, those 15 minutes that are given, right? Those have to be used very well. That time, at least you should have decided what is it that I am going to do, which I'm very, very confident about. And always, first and foremost, do things which you know very well. And what you don't know, you leave it for the end, right? If you do it the other way around, what will happen is your confidence will go down, and even if you know things, you will tend to be very, very confused, and you will not be able to answer. So first thing, very important, is before you go to the exam, like once you go to the exam hall, ensure you go 10-15 minutes much before time. You are completely relaxing yourself, doing some breathing exercises, and then when your mind, then you start with your papers. So because if you are very anxious and nervous, even a difficult paper, even an easy paper, you will not be able to solve. But if your mind is calm and composed, what will happen is, even if it's a difficult paper, you will be able to solve it in such a way that you will be at least able to score in your 50 marks, 45 to 50 to clear, and you can always then score well in the other subjects. So what I'm trying to tell you is, first and foremost, strategize those, that what is it that I'm going to do, and first you finish what you know very well, and last part you keep it for the difficult ones. So first you ensure, if you think that the paper is very difficult, somehow I score my 50, and then I do the rest of it, right? Your state of mind is very important here. So before, again, 15 minutes before, please, 15 minutes to half an hour before, just go there, relax, calm yourself down, and then only start writing your paper, right? Santosh is asking that I last appeared in 21. I had not appeared. I can cover only group 2 since 2009. I didn't get. So what is your question, Santosh? So Santosh, last session that I had done, I have explained what is the process that you have to go through when you are giving an exam. Just see where is it that I fell short. What is it that I have to do? Did I not do enough writing practice? Did I not do revisions? Did I not write papers? Check where you fell short, and if you're giving one group, you can still do it. But the most important thing is that that you are very, very consistent, and you're putting in your 100% every single day. Rupendra is saying that he missed his aggregate in intergroup 2. Some things are beyond control. Some things have happened. If you have got your papers through RTI, you can see what is it that went wrong. You can also give it for reval, but you have to start preparing for your next attempt, right? I think there was one more question wherein they have not corrected as per your requirement, like you thought how it should be. At the most, you can give it for revaluation, but you need to start now. Whatever it is, the faster you accept, the better you will use this time, right? So please start making use of this time, because now we have only 95 days, right? Whatever has happened has happened. You cannot change. What you can change is today, right? Making this day count. Rohit, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for appreciating the answer. Uh, Okay, Kriti is saying that she's given 3 attempts but not cleared. So she's not sure whether to drop CA or continue or give her CAT. So Kirti, sorry, as I told you, last session which I had, which is uploaded on YouTube, I have explained how you go about with the process. So very important. First, you try to figure out where is it that I am falling short? What is it that I have to work on, right? Also, if you have got your evaluated answers, please have a look, where is it that you're falling short, right? And if you feel that no, you had done everything and it's still you're spending a lot of time, you can think of other options. But if you feel, yes, any of these points I have not put in my best, any of the points which I've told you, then this attempt, make sure that you're working on all those areas, and you put in your best efforts, and then obviously you will clear, right? So give it your best shot. Give another attempt if you have fallen short on any of the aspects which I have explained in my previous session, right? Next. Uh, Sorry, 1 second. I have, okay, who's asking? Shanmugan is asking that exams, he is to give final CA exams in November 25. Classes are going to start from Feb 24. Is it enough time to complete both groups? And should I give both groups? Yes, you can absolutely give both groups. Your exam is in November 25. Yeah, but the key here is whatever you're doing in your classes, please be at par, right? So once the classes portion is done, you directly start with your revisions, right? That way you can easily give both groups, because now we are in Feb 24 and you have to give November 25. Avni is asking, how do I remember penalties? As I told you, whatever things you know, I have to remember, list it down and go through it every day. Last 15 minutes of your day, you can do it. When any time in the day you feel that I'm very bored, I don't want to do anything new, you can just go through this list. It will help you retain things better. Okay. In November, okay, Anjum is asking that she cleared Group 1 in 2001. 21, I have Group 2. How to prepare for paper 6? See, paper 6 subject-wise is something that, if you've joined the CA test series, they are going to guide you. They have subject-specific mentors, so they will really help you do this better. You ask the experts. That will be much better. The subject-wise experts can guide you better on this. Okay. Kirti is asking, I'm 22. I failed in Group 2 CA, entered by 4 marks. Now I plan to join a mid-sized CA firm for 2 to 3 months to gain practical experience and simultaneously continue my studies. Kirti, if you feel this is the right thing, you may go ahead. But the only thing that I want you to do is, when you are working also, like when you're working, very important that you are dedicating time every day to your studies, right? So that you're finishing all the concepts and everything for in the next 2 months. And then when you take your break, you only have to do revisions, right? You're focusing completely on revisions at that time, revisions and paper writing. Okay. Then Varna is asking, what is the study method to get an exemption or beyond, provided I have classes till 15th of March? So as I told you, Varna, till 15th of March, what your target should be, whatever is done in my classes, I am at par, right? I have understood the concepts really well. And from 16th March, you are only doing your revisions and paper writing more, doing dedicated writing practice every single day. Module, RTP, MTP, past papers, which is something you have to do, and MCQs every day. Practice from now. Half an hour every day you dedicate to MCQs. Does self-study work for CA Inter if classes are done already? Yes, but you know that it's a change of syllabus, right? Who's asking this? Manikanta, you know there is a change of syllabus, so please be very much aware. If you have done your classes long back, you have to be updated with the new syllabus and what are the changes, right? If you have just completed all your classes with the new syllabus, then it's fine. You can just focus on self-study and doing your revisions. Manish is asking, my BCom exams are also nearby within 20-25 days. How much time should I allot for BCom per study? Right. So, Manish, see, if your exams are 20 days away, you try dividing your day in 2 parts. Half of it you devote to your BCom, rest of half of it you devote to your CA, right? So maybe when the actual exam days are there, when it is not possible for you to study for CA, that is okay. But at least till the time your exams approach, ensure that half a day to BCom and half a day to CA, right? And if in case you're finding BCom really difficult, for some time when exams are closer, maybe 10 days away, you can increase the number of hours for BCom, right? Okay. Uh, When can we expect November 23 attempts suggested answers on ICI portal? Hopefully by next month end, it should be out, right? I hope so, because of the new syllabus, they are also taking a lot of time. But hopefully by mid-Feb or Feb end, you should have the MTP with you, right? Ishika is asking, I have given 3 attempts of group 2. Now I'm thinking of giving group 2 with job. Should I do it? So as I told you, I just answered someone else regarding the same thing. Yes, but if you're doing that, everyday studies is very important, because we only have 3 months, right? February, March, April, May, you have your exams. There's no delay. We already have the exam dates with us. So see where you are, see where is it that you're standing, right? How much you have to study, what was your score last time. If you think your score was really low, you scored in 20s or 30s, then give your time completely to your studies. But if you just missed by few marks, right, so you have to do a self analysis whether I can manage studying and giving doing a full time job. If you think it is not possible, please devote the next 3 months completely to your studies. Avni is asking how to control sleep while studying. Okay, so Avni, there are various. First you have to ensure you're getting your night sleep well, 7 to 8 hours of sleep every single day. If you're not doing that, that might be a reason that you're falling asleep a lot while studying. So please ensure that a good night's sleep is very, very crucial. So ensure you're getting that. And maybe afternoon, you can take a short nap, right? If you're getting too tired, if you're getting up very early, maybe 4 or 5, then you can take a short nap. Now, another important thing is that nap should not be in the period of 2 to 5. When you know this is my exam time, you cannot sleep at that time. Your body cannot be used to sleeping or resting at that time. So if you're feeling very sleepy, first make your sleep regular. At night, sleep well. Afternoon, you can take a short half an hour to 45 minutes nap. In between your study sessions, if you're feeling very sleepy, divide your study sessions in shorter slots. So what you can do is study for 45 minutes, take a 5-7 minutes break, again study for 45 minutes, right? Then you take a 10-15 minutes break. So that way you will be more fresh and more active to study. Another important thing is, in my break time, I don't do anything that engages my mind. So no social media, no YouTube, only things that relax my mind. So listening to music, talking to family members, or some small chore at home you can do, but nothing that engages my mind. Okay. Okay, Arumkam is asking whether I can get the full session of this video. Yes, you can see it on YouTube later on, right? Once it's uploaded. About self-paced module, you will surely get more and more clarity, right? At this stage, where there is very little clarity on that. Payal is asking, how can I control my sleeping 10 hours? See, for us, 7 to 8 hours is more than enough, right? So what you can do is gradually cut down on your sleep time. Suddenly from 10, you cannot go to 7, but half an hour, you can go on reducing till you reach 8. So see, 8 hours is adequate sleep. You just check with your health, like with your doctor, or if there is a lot of weakness, is that an issue that you get taking, like, you are not feeling fresh and you need 10 hours, or your diet is not good. Such factors, the other factors you need to see, that why is it that I'm sleeping for so long, right? Otherwise, for us, 7 to 8 hours sleep is adequate, and it's good if you have a sleep routine, right? So don't make it very random. You have a routine for your sleep. Ma'am, any tips for November 24 inter first attempt? See, if it is your first inter attempt in November 24, at this stage, what you can completely focus on is conceptual understanding, right? Getting your concepts right and ensuring, so whatever is, if you join online class or offline, whatever is taught in class, you are simultaneously doing the conceptual understanding. So self-study after classes is very important, so that once your classes are over, you are done with conceptual understanding and you're focusing completely on revisions and paper writing, right? And dedicated writing practice also every single day. Okay, Rohit is asking how to manage stress. Till now, I have cleared everything in first attempt, but still can't manage the stress level. Could you please advise? See, Rohit, when we are thinking too much about the future, that what will happen, that is the time when the stress levels build up. So, as I've told you last time, please have a weekly timetable that this is what I'm going to do in the week, and ensure that you stick to the target every day to help you increase your confidence level to a great extent. Second thing, at least 10 to 15 minutes every day, please give your mind some rest. Listen, some kind of mindfulness exercise, meditation, anything to give your mind that rest, right? So every day, take some time out for yourself. How you take care of your body, your time also, your mind also, you really need to take care of. And something, regular breathing exercises, mindfulness techniques, meditations, all these things are something which will help you keep your stress levels on check, right? Bhushan is asking, I scored 189 in last 3 attempts of group 1. Can I go for both groups at this time? See, Bhushan, what I can tell you is please analyze that where is it that you stand. If you have group 1 you have done, but group 2 you have not touched at this stage, then this is not the right time to do something completely new. Instead, you work on group 1, but till your results, you have already started working on group 2 and you have already finished the conceptual understanding phase. Then you can give both groups, and also analyze that what went wrong in the previous attempt. If you have your evaluated copies, please go through the same. Also, in the last session, as I told you all, I have clearly mentioned what are the things that you have to ensure that you do. Just see where is it that you fell short and try to work on it in the current attempt, right? I think I'm Revati is asking, I lose efficiency during exam time. How to manage exam? So exam time, as I told you, first you have to have already had a mock of what exactly an alternate days mock. So you know that this is how I am going to plan my exam days. The time I'm back from a paper, the next whole day and the morning, right? So very important that if you have done that mock, then automatically the exam days, you exactly know what you have to do and they will be more efficient. Second thing is, whatever happened in the previous exam, you have to let it go. Once you're back home, just forget about the previous exam and make the next exam count, right? Because it happens in many cases that you keep thinking about what happened in the past paper, right? And somehow you end up clearing that paper and the next paper is affected and you don't clear the group, right? So ensure once a paper is done, whatever travel time you may think of it and all, once you're back, you're just focusing on the next paper. Next is Mohit is asking that what study planner given in text series is that was for 60 marks, which is around daily 7 to 9 hours. Mohit, I am not understanding your question. The study planner, as I have gone through it, it has, if you want to do one subject or two subjects a day, depending on that, they have made, like, you have the planner to be set, right? And yes, one thing that you have to ensure is when you're doing this, once you're, for example, you're watching video lectures, this also has to include your self-study time. So after every video lecture, you are also doing the self-study. Right? I didn't understand your question well. If you could write it in detail, it will really help me answer your question. I think I answered all the questions. Anything else you all want to ask me, you can type, or we can end with today's session, right? Okay. And also one more thing I would like to tell you all is the one-to-one mentorship which I do, that is something which now we are offering for CA club, for CA test series also. So if you want any help, any guidance, you can always connect with them and I'll be your one-to-one mentor. The difference in my mentoring is we will cover two things. One is that you're strategizing correctly. Second, that you are in a great state of mind, right? So if you want to, you can connect with them. They will tell you how you go about with the one-to-one mentoring. Yes. Okay, Mohit, you're saying that you got it correctly. So fine. So what I'm what I mean to say is, so accordingly, so if they have written 7 to 9 hours, obviously it is as per individual capacity. If you can go to 10 to 12 hours, nothing like that, and if you can finish your portion earlier and go on revisions and writing papers, it will be great. See, this is something which is very generic given by them. You have to customize it as per your requirement. Some subject is might be a difficult subject for you, some might be a easy subject, so you can accordingly change and alter the planner a little as per your individual needs and your strengths and weaknesses, right? And at this stage, if you can reach 10 hours, it will be great, and you can gradually go on to 12 hours, right? But from if you're studying 6 in a day, it will not go to 10. Gradually try to increase the overall timing, right? Okay, any more questions, or should I end with today's session? Okay, great. Okay, so I will see you all next week with a new topic to help you all do better in exams. Any more doubts or questions you all have, I am always available. You can connect with me on LinkedIn also, and if you want the one-to-one mentorship, you can connect with CAtestseries. They will tell you and guide you how you go about with it, right? Okay, have a lovely day, study well, and all the very best. And have a lovely weekend. Bye bye. Take care, everybody. Okay.